The alarm is being raised all over North America. We're losing our soils, and our watercourses are being plugged with silt and polluted with fertilizers washed off the fields. Nobody knows the problems better than farmers. They'd like to change the way they farm, but they can't afford to. And besides, who knows a better way? As farm costs go up and the grain prices drop, we can only expect the problems to get worse. That is, unless the rest of society, in the form of the government, comes along with some appropriate help. Well, that's what Ontario, with help from the federal government, is doing in southwestern Ontario. That part of the province is one of the richest, most productive areas in North America, but the soil is being both degraded and eroded away, and hundreds of tons of phosphorus are washing off the farmland and into Lake Erie every year. A couple of years ago, somebody in the government decided something simply had to be done, so a 5-year program was devised to start last spring. It being a government program, of course, it didn't quite get off the ground, and it's now slated to start this spring. It's a 6-year project now, too, not 5. But it's a good idea. The project has 2 goals: to cut the phosphorus runoff from farmland into Lake Erie by 200 metric tons a year, and to stop, or at least severely reduce, soil erosion and degradation. This isn't going to be a piddly little experimental project either. It will cover whole farms and entire watersheds. The program has 2 parts. The first will use a number of farms to try out all kinds of new farming practices aimed at soil conservation and reducing water pollution. It will include things like conservation cropping, conservation tillage and planting, and integrated pest management. Each farm being experimented on will also have an area where the old farming practices are still used, so the researchers will have something to compare their new methods with. In the other part of the program, a few whole watersheds will be picked out, and all the farms in those watersheds will have soil and water conservation methods applied to them. Careful measurements will be kept over the years to compare with other watersheds where no changes are made. This is a big project, and getting all the farmers in an entire watershed to cooperate could be like getting a whole herd of frogs to jump in the same direction. But the government people knew the risks the farmers would face in trying these new conservation methods, and decided to pay them to participate. Well, I think that's a great idea. After all, why should farmers have to shoulder the burden of what is really society's problem? I wouldn't want to be the one divvying up the money, though. By the time the opportunists and local politicians get their fingers in the pot, there are bound to be a few scandals. It's an extremely complex program, too. Researchers in every field from soil science to economics, not to mention the farmers themselves, will have to work together to come up with a whole new system of farming. They'll be breaking new ground all the way, and it's bound to be full of pitfalls. But I say hair on 'em. With erosion, degradation, and pollution getting worse, some changes simply have to be made. Now, if other provinces, especially the prairie ones, would just do something like that, maybe in a few years, with Ontario leading the way, they will. I'm Noel McNaughton.